I thought I should probably do a video on this because I really enjoyed the Splatoon 3 Direct, and I wanted to talk about something that's very important to me as someone who plays this game, although I don't play it at a competitive level. There was a change to a certain mode that I kind of wanted to talk about today. It's more so trying to figure out for myself how much I may enjoy this mode. I mean, it's Rainmaker, obviously. I mean, Rainmaker is my favorite mode of all time in Splatoon, so yeah, so if you guys don't know, Rainmaker is very simple. All you have to do is just get the Rainmaker after you pop its giant bubble and carry it to the goal. But they decided to change it, and I have mixed feelings about it, how it looks, so I kind of want to just talk about that in sort of like an unfiltered, well, not necessarily unfiltered because I mean I'm always filtered, but like unedited and stuff like that, because I think that you guys enjoy like listening to me unedited from how other videos did, like more raw content, which I mean I'm glad about. I mean, it's less work for me. But yeah, so we're just gonna jump right into it. So okay, so yeah, so tower control, and then okay, so Rainmaker, okay? So you have the Rainmaker, and you have these checkpoints, okay? So originally, you'd just be able to get the Rainmaker at around like the middle of the map, and then just go all the way towards the end, but you can't do that anymore. You literally just have to get like one of these checkpoints first, and then you can go. And I think some maps are going to have more checkpoints than others. As you guys can see, Hammerhead Bridge has 2, which is kind of just like, it doesn't feel very necessary. Well, at least it technically, yeah, so like, I feel like this may end up going longer. Like, it definitely will go longer because of checkpoints. Because like, you take it to this checkpoint, and so you get both checkpoints. Let's say both checkpoints are cleared. So I'll say, but the thing that I'm surprised about is that when they grab the Rainmaker, I'm not sure if someone was splatted, because it's in like, it looks like, yeah, it's in a starting position as they're like at 99. So you only have one checkpoint to pass through, and then you go towards the end from what it looks like. Because you can see the checkpoints on the map from what it seems. Unless it shows up afterwards and there's like a checkpoint like over here or something. So like that I'm not sure how I feel about the checkpoint system, especially with how it will work. And I feel like that it's like making it too much like tower control. Because tower control used to be in the same position as Rainmaker, where it's like you could just like hold the tower for the whole time and you don't have to stop, you just keep going. Which I mean, for tower control, like other like objectives, that's fine, that makes sense. Like it's like an escorting the payload type thing in other shooter games, and it makes sense with like the checkpoints and stuff like that, since it's a consistent movement. But you're kind of taking away the individuality of Rainmaker by giving it checkpoints, I feel. Like it just feels like tower control. Because I mean, like if we go to the it's just like if we go to like the post updates thing, so I'm not sure if this is its first checkpoint. I'll say, but let's assume that it is. And now I do kind of like this, how there's 2 checkpoints you can choose. And like the thing that I don't know about is like what checkpoints will necessarily do. I feel like it's an artificial way to slow down the game, I feel. Because I mean, you're like, what they're gonna do is like, if you get splattered, you're not gonna be sent to the farthest checkpoint. Because I mean, like, if the farthest, because like if the most recent checkpoint is like really close to the enemy, the final goal, then that's just kind of like an easy push. And then when the enemy gets the Rainmaker, it doesn't mean that then their checkpoints are activated against you, and if they get splatted, it gets sent all the way to their latest checkpoint. So like, let's say you're like at the last checkpoint. So let's say that you're at like the last checkpoint of your team, but the enemy is at the end of the checkpoint on your side. So, if you get splatted, and they get the Rainmaker, and then they get splatted, does the Rainmaker automatically spawn at the far checkpoint? Like at the farthest checkpoint that they got? Because as you guys can see here, it like rebubbles. Like you can't just keep going, like you have to stop and re-obtain it. So is that like the new Rainmaker spawn point, like if you get splatted? So that's honestly like my biggest question about it. Like let's say that this guy over here, like the one holding the Rainmaker, I'm not sure if you guys can see my mouse or not. Like, so they just put the Rainmaker right there, right? So since it rebubbled, does that mean that if like the person who gets the Rainmaker, yeah, let's see. So it's like if this one gets splatted, does that mean that it just goes right back here? Or does he get splatted like when, or does the Rainmaker like just sit there? And like if the enemy team gets the Rainmaker, does it, if they get splatted, does it go to like their other checkpoint? Like there's just a lot of it that of course that we don't necessarily know about just yet. And I'll probably have to wait a little bit to see like how it works. But I'm just kind of concerned about how the checkpoints work, and I feel like it's kind of like an artificial way to like make the mode longer. And I still have mixed feelings about it. Like it could, like hopefully it works out well. Like I feel like it's just an artificial way of slowing down the game and it loses its individuality. Because then I feel like it's like, oh wait, people like tower control because it has checkpoints. It works. So let's just use that for every other objective-based mode. It's like, I love because I'm an aggressive player. I love just being able to go, like just without having to wait. I just want to go, which I know it's not necessarily a good thing all the time, but I mean like. In Rainmaker, it's like the whole point of the mode. Like, you just get to go. Like, even if it is just one team fight, which, I mean, that may be what they're trying to prevent, is just, like, one team fight and then you're done. Then for all that, then just make, like, the Rainmaker, like just make the maps bigger then. With more time for respawn and farther, gold checkpoints. Like, I don't feel... Like, I don't know what to say about it. It's like, I want to enjoy it because I love Rainmaker, because I love of how fast-paced it is. But it's like, you're slowing it down, like, quite substantially by giving it checkpoints. And having to, like, reburst the bubble. Like, if you didn't have to reburst the bubble, then I think it'd be fine. But, like, popping the bubble takes like much more time than I feel like people think. Oh yeah, also I was like S+ in Rainmaker and Splatoon 2, mind you. I'm not like a competitive player by any means. It's just like it is my favorite mode. So seeing it change kind of warrants a discussion in and of itself. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure about yeah, it's at the center. And I'm not, like, entirely sure about, Rainmaker just yet. Like, I want it to be good. Like, I want it to be enjoyable. Like, I don't know what to say, because, I mean, like, I feel like there would probably be a lot of pros and cons to this, because, I mean, like, I know after a while, like, after you get good enough, players start to realize, like, how to fight correctly in Rainmaker to where you can't rush, like, to the end anyways. So, I don't understand why adding the checkpoints would be needed if at a higher rank people know how to stop the pushes anyways. Plus, I mean, like, at least for me, it's, like, exhilarating to get, like, one major push in, and then just going in, like, is it unbalanced? Possibly. but I feel like the unbalancedness of it gives it a bit of individuality, whereas like every other mode is like slow and like there's checkpoints, there's pausing points. I mean, like, because I mean, if you look at like Clam Blitz, like that can range from like kinda short to like the longest thing ever. If you don't know what you're doing. Splat Zones is probably like the most, I honestly think is like the most balanced ranked mode, I believe. And then Tower Control, it makes sense because, I mean, like, it's a slow-moving objective that's like on a set path. So, like, it makes sense that there are checkpoints. But for Rainmaker, it's like you're just kind of taking away its individuality of being a fast game mode and making it seem more like Tower Control, but with a weapon. It'd be like if you gave Tower Control like a turret that was like slow and stuff like that. So I'm really not sure how I feel about it, but hopefully in Splatoon 3, when I do play Rainmaker eventually, because I'll play it like on a live stream or something. I'll see how it is. Hopefully I'll like it, because if not, then I'm probably not going to play ranked as much. I mean, I'll still play ranked on occasion, but I mean, I won't play it as much as I probably would if Rainmaker is not done like justice because of these checkpoints. So I mean that's pretty much all I'll say for it right now, because I'm still very conflicted about, like, I haven't gotten my hands on it yet, so I don't necessarily know how I'm gonna feel about it until after I've played it a couple times. So let me know what you guys think about it. If you guys definitely want to see me try out Rainmaker and all these other modes on the Splatoon 3 maps, definitely subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this one, so that way my channel gets recommended and you guys can see what I do with Splatoon in Splatoon 3 going forward. With that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this sort of like low discussion video, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And with that being said, everybody, I've been Odyssey64, and I'll see you guys next time.